Good morning. This is Abigail Knott. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and share. So, today I'm going to be talking about entitlement. Entitlement it gets to me like when I see people who are so selfish and ungrateful, like morally, it really gets to me. And unfortunately, I am a person it sometimes tends to take the morals of the world on me, and I'm like, um, you know, this is so wrong, and I want to put it right, but I cannot control people. So in that way, I've had to learn to kind of give control to God and be like, God's got it. I am not God, you know. God has it. Um, you get those people that are just so ungrateful, and because they're ungrateful, they're actually really entitled. They just expect people to give and give and give to them. And these people are in the church, they're outside the church, they're all over the world. So this is really not just a Christian issue, but it's a world issue where everyone is entitled, feels entitled to say what they want, and not think about consequences, not think about hurting people's feelings. And I'm not saying that the truth should not be said. The truth should be said because truth doesn't care about your feelings, it's the truth. But when you go all out after someone and you feel you're entitled to have your say, for instance, I watched this Dr. Phil the other day where there was a trans woman, so a man, who died tragically. And this person went on the internet, and what she said, it was true, but it was nothing to do with this, and it was extremely insensitive. But she's like, I didn't do anything wrong. But you were insensitive to the situation. A trans woman or a man died tragically. For any human being, I don't care whether they are gay, straight, queer, binary, um, prostitute, you know, like murderer. Okay, like I know murderers kill other people. That feels like so wrong, but but that's the thing. We can't get our heads around the grace of God, which is the undeserved forgiveness that He gives to us, right? So so when someone dies tragically, it is always a tragedy. There are always family members who are mourning that person. It doesn't matter what religion they are, it doesn't matter what sexual persuasion they are, it doesn't matter whether they're male, female. It is a person that has tragically died. And this person goes on and says, uh, a trans woman is not a woman. She's not focusing on the thing that matters, right? The thing that matters is that a human being died tragically. She's focusing on the trans thing, and she sits there and says, I didn't do anything wrong. And maybe I was a little insensitive, but I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't actually say anything that was untrue. I was quoting facts. I do research and I quote facts. And I inform people. It's all very good to be brainy up here, but when you're not brainy here, your second, what is they say, it's your second brain, then you're not brainy up here. That means you have a very low EQ. It means that you are unaware of the world around you. The fact is, a tragedy just happened. It's got nothing to do with what that person was into or what that person didn't like or what that person liked. It doesn't it doesn't matter. Every single time a human being dies tragically, or even dies normally of natural causes, it is a heartache. It is sad. Now you want to go on and sound all smart and be like, I researched this and now I'm going to spew out a fact. That is the time when you sympathize. It's not the time when you throw out brainy facts that you have researched, so you're always right, so you're entitled to share this, so it doesn't matter. That's not the time to share it. I just think that so there's the entitlement that comes with saying what you want. And in these days you can say what you want, even if it's not true, and you will not be prosecuted. But if you speak the truth, especially if it's a Christian perspective, you will be in huge trouble. If I was in the UK right now, I'd probably be in jail because I talk about Jesus on my channel all the time. You cannot shut me up. Okay? But even when you do something for someone, and that person is a person that just expects, and you do it out of kindness, but that person, they're like, oh, whatever, I expected that of you because you're a pushover, you're kind, whatever, and you don't even get a thank you. Meanwhile, you've spent hours planning um, how you're going to help this person and putting stuff together and designing things, or even if you just something simple like, I don't know, making supper. And some of you might have very entitled children where they're like, we expect that, so we don't even thank you anymore. You're just a mother. Let me tell you, mothers, that is the equivalent of two jobs. Motherhood is the equivalent of two jobs. And it just gets to me, this entitlement. Um, just expecting good things, but never doing anything good for anyone else, never serving anyone else. And if you need something out of these particular people, it's like sucking blood from a stone. You like they're gonna fight you all the way. They might now and then do something, but no, they're all about themselves. So it sticks in my craw. It really does. Um, so anyway, so here we have 1 Corinthians verse 7 to 9. And look, when I'm talking about entitlement, it goes especially to leaders who are entitled. I'm just going to move this light a bit. It feels like it's a little. Oh, is that a bit better? Hmm. Just, I don't know. Looks a bit. Sorry, I'm just worrying about my lighting here. I've learned a bit about lighting, and I'm just like, uh, yeah. Is it okay? Anyway, so basically, the Bible, it's not a biblical belief to be self-centered. Um, so in the Bible, 1 Corinthians 4, verse 7 to 6. No, I'm going to say 10. This whole thing is very good, but I'll go to 10. So, after all, wait, I might start from, okay, I'll start from 6. Now, in what I have said here, brothers, I have used myself and Apollos as examples to teach you not to go beyond what the Tanakh says, proudly taking the side of one leader against the other. After all, what makes you so special? What do you have that you didn't receive as a gift? And in fact, if if in fact it was a gift, why do you boast as if it weren't? You are you are glutted already. You are rich already. You have become kings even though we are not. Well, I wish you really were kings so that we might share the kingship with you. For I think God has been placing us apostles on display at the tail of the parade, like men condemned to die in the public arena. We have become a spectacle before the whole universe, angels as well as men. For the Messiah's sake, we are fools, but united with Messiah, you are wise. We are weak, but you are strong. You are honored, but we are dishonored. So, so it's just speaking about everything that you have has been given to you. It's a bit too much shadow on my face. I think that's a bit better. Okay, so everything you have has been given to you um, by someone else. Um, your parents conceived you and gave you life. Your your parents bought you clothes. You didn't have clothes already, right? Your parents paid for your education. You didn't have it already, you know. Um, maybe you just expected everything to be handed to you because that's what your parents, how your parents um, brought you up. But that's not how the world works. In the world, you have to work for what you have. So I'm going to just read Philippians 2 verse 3 to 4. It's not there. Um, where is this? Timothy. That's yeah. I'm just trying to find it here. It's a very short book, I think. Hey, yeah. Philippians 2. Ah, Philippians 2 verse 3 to 4. Do nothing out of rivalry or vanity, but in humility regard each other as better than yourselves, for out of each other's interests, and not just for your own. I'm going to read a bit further. Let your attitude towards one another be governed by your being in union with Messiah Yeshua, who was very much a servant. Though he was in the form of God, he did not regard equality with God something to be possessed by force. On the contrary, he emptied himself by becoming like human beings are. And when he appeared as a human being, he humbled himself still more by becoming obedient even to death, death on a stake as a criminal. Therefore God raised him to the highest place and gave him the name above every name, that in honor of the name given Yeshua, every knee will bow in heaven, on earth, and under the earth, and every tongue will acknowledge that Yeshua the Messiah is Adonai, to the glory of God the Father. Jesus even was a servant. He valued people. Became a human. He lived among us. He became poor. He wasn't rich, although um, although some people preach that he was rich. He wasn't rich, and so we have to become a servant. That is the highest level in my mind of Christianity, is to be, when you, even being a leader or someone in authority in some kind of way, and humbling yourself right down to serving others. Someone preached the other day on fellowship and basically saying that if you are a leader, the first thing you need to learn before you even become a leader is to follow. The fellowship is your training. It's how you train to do what God has called you to do. You come under submission to God. Um, then James 4, verse 6. Oh, got a sneeze. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, okay. Revelation. Got it. Jude, John. I think James is here. Pretty sure. No, it's 2 Peter. There, James. Okay, James 4 to 6. 4 verse 6. Um, but the grace he gives is greater, which is why it says, God opposes the arrogant, but to the humble he gives peace. So, in other words, don't worry about those people, and this is very hard for me because it gets to me. It really gets to me. Don't worry about those people who are ungrateful, who think the world owes them, who expect everything for absolutely nothing, and who never thank you. You be better. And the problem is that when people are like that, you don't want to help them. You don't, you're like, oh, well, you go off with you then, and just like, don't ever ask me anything ever again. That's what I feel like saying. I feel like saying, don't ever ask me anything ever again. I'm not going to do it for you because you don't appreciate it. Especially when I put so much work into something for you because I care about you, but you don't appreciate it. So for me, I feel like saying, and this is so unchristian, I feel like saying, I'm never doing anything for you again. But I have to ask myself, even though I'm feeling that deeply, like it's a bit of hurt and it's a bit of, how can you be like this with me? But it's also like, you know what? I what would Jesus do? Would Jesus just say, I'm never doing anything for you again? On the one hand, you say how he talked to the Pharisees. The Pharisees, then again, Jesus saw right through the Pharisees in the beginning, and he never did anything for them because they were, um, what did he call them? A brood of vipers. Jesus didn't mince his words. Lots of people say, Jesus was meek and mild, and yes, he was. But and when you come into trouble, people often say, turn the other cheek. And for me, I've spent my whole life turning the other cheek. It never did me any good, and I never used to like stand up for myself. But when I look at Jesus, yes, sometimes he would turn the other cheek, but when it came to things that mattered, like when people were deceiving people, when the religious leaders of the time were deceiving people, he called them a brood of vipers. Um, and that was because, and he didn't do that to everyone, but when he came to those people, our leaders take a high accounting of what they have done, of how they have led. So when he saw those leaders, he said, "You brood of vipers," because they thought they were better than everyone else. They felt entitled, and and he knew that they would have to give an accounting for all the false teaching that they were doing, and for all the lack of humble pie that they were eating. Um, and he was making people feel, basically, they were making people feel less than. And that is not God's plan for us. We all have different paths in life, we have different gifts that God has given us, and we have to operate in those gifts. But my gift of, I don't know, looking after children in Sunday school, that is no less than the gift of preaching in the front. It's equally as important. It's absolutely equal. So, so my message today would be, and like we can all be ungrateful at times. Look, let's be honest. We can all be ungrateful at times. We can all be a little bit entitled at times. We, but my message today is appreciate what you've got, because chances are you've got a whole lot more than other people. There are always people who are in a worse situation than you. So appreciate what you've got. Appreciate the people you've got around you who who um who help you out. Appreciate the gifts that you're given. Appreciate the friendships, the relationships. Appreciate um the love that happens when someone comes to you and says in love, "Hey, I noticed you were feeling maybe a bit left out. Do you want to explore that? Why were you feeling left out? Is it maybe because you're not participating?" Uh, so when people come to you and they kind of help you see some flaws in yourself or some truths in yourself that you need to deal with, that is in love. Appreciate those people because it takes love to actually do that. Because we all need to be moving together as a body, as one, in line with the life and the death and the life again of Christ. And the only way we can do that is to have fellowship and to allow Christ to just shave off those rough edges that are keeping us back. And he uses fellowship, relationship, family to do that. Yeah, so I'm going to leave you with that today, and hopefully God will give me the grace to react like a Christian should, react like Jesus should. Show grace, show undeserved forgiveness. Maybe if someone's like that with you, you should maybe not do anything for them, uh, because it cost me what happened. It cost me, but can I forgive and move on? Yes. Do they deserve it? No. Trust me, they don't. But can I forgive and move on? Yes, I can. And yes, he did. And yes, we will forgive and move on. We will be like Christ. He gives us grace, that undeserved forgiveness. So therefore, I will give that too. I will give grace. I will give that undeserved forgiveness. Um, Even if I've been hurt and used in the process, I will still give that grace and forgiveness. And that is not turning the other cheek, it's forgiving. And we all need more forgiveness in this world. Thank goodness God forgave me. Thank goodness. And thank goodness He forgave you. So accept that forgiveness today. And He loves you. He He loves you so much and he is pursuing you. If you are here and you're watching this, let this be just the seed that Jesus drops inside of you, that he loves you and he forgives you. Okay, thanks everybody. Bye.